we have Ron Stern from OurCrowd. OurCrowd is a long-term partner of us. Who has heard of OurCrowd? Everyone is networking outside, Ron.
How are you doing,
so
Mark?
Pleased
Great
to have
see you
you.
again.
Thank you so much. Looking forward. Here's like a little clicker.
Okay, thank you very much.
Let's go.
Okay, thank you, Marco. What a wonderful event, and thank you for having us, inviting us to present here. I mean, we're so excited to be here in Berlin and see all these wonderful people and wonderful companies and wonderful content that you arranged. So thank you so much for that. So what is OurCrowd? So I want to tell you today about a completely new model of how to do venture capital. All of you are technology enthusiasts, entrepreneurs, investors, and we want to propose, or we want to demonstrate and give you a little bit of a view of what we've done to create a new model within the venture capital community. So as you know, venture capital has been disrupting all of the industries in the world for 40 or 50 years, some might even say more. But the venture capital community itself has not been disrupted. So what we've basically we're bringing a new model to enable the crowd, accredited investors from all over the world to participate in the venture revolution in the asset class called venture capital. My name is Ron Stern, and I'm a general partner of the firm. So let's talk quickly about stuff that probably most of you already know, but it's nice to see it in graphs and numbers. Why invest in tech and why invest in private companies? So if you look at the graph on the right, normally you said, I want to invest in tech. Fine, I'll just go to the public markets and I'll buy some stock. I'll buy some stock of Intel or Microsoft. Well, that was a very good strategy, up until about 15 years ago. Because companies, when they went public at low valuations, allowing the public to participate at the IPO, after the IPO, and enjoy very significant gains over a very long period of time. But what happened in the last 15 years is that companies are staying private for much longer. If you look at Uber's IPO, at close to 60 or 70 billion. Other companies are holding off for much, much longer. And therefore, the gains in the tech market becomes, you need to come into the companies when they're still a private company. But tech has also taken over the world, and that's your graph on the left. The 5 largest companies in 2006, only one of them was a tech company. If you look at 2018, you're already seeing that 5 of the 5 largest companies in the world in market cap terms are all tech companies. If you look at Israel, which is where 70% of our investments are made, you see there's a very nice growth in the Israeli ecosystem. We're certainly enjoying that. In 2018, $6.4 billion were invested in Israeli startups. The nice thing that's happening also in Israel is that companies are growing and maturing and becoming unicorns and exiting only after becoming unicorns. We have multiple of those examples today. This is something that was not true in Israel only 10 years ago. So what do we do? What we do in the initial stage is very similar to a traditional venture capital. We look at between 100 and 200 new companies every month. We do a very thorough due diligence. We have the largest diligence team in country, and we select 1 or 2 of those companies. What we then do is we invest 5% of the money ourselves, and then we open the rest of it to the crowd. We have 30,000 accredited investors from 150 countries around the world that are registered to our site, and we concentrate our due diligence, our materials about the company, a webinar, the deal terms, everything that you have to know to make an investment, and we put it on our site. And we allow those 30,000 accredited investors to go into our site, look at all those materials, and decide on their own if they want to participate in any deal. Investing in one of our companies you can do with as little as $10,000 per company, and you become an owner in a company in a B round or a C round or a D round alongside some of the best investors in the world on the same terms that those best investors are investing in that company. That's a disruption to the venture capital model, because it used to be that unless you had $5 or $10 or $20 million, you could not get in to a leading venture fund in the world. And now, with as little as $10,000, you can invest side by side with some of those great investors in the world. So in that way, we've gone over $1 billion of capital that has been committed to our funds, our companies, and ourselves. We funded over 170 companies this way. As I said, 30,000 investors from over 100 countries. So in this model, we have direct investments, as I mentioned, and we also have funds that we put onto the platform. So for example, one of our latest funds was US Venture Partners, a leading fund from Silicon Valley. They decided that they wanted to open themselves up a little bit more in a democratical way to the crowd. So they came to us, and we've put them on the platform where we collect commitments to their fund and then fund it in one check into USVP. We're very proud that in a second year in a row, we've been recognized by PitchBook as the most active investor in the Israeli economy. As I said, we see ourselves as a global platform, so 70% of what we do today is in Israel, 30% is outside of Israel. We just did our first German investment, and we're very much interested in growing more globally, which is why we are so happy and proud to be partnering with NOAH to come here today and to speak to you guys and to get us introduced. We co-invest along some of the leading VCs in the world that you all know about. And this is a quick glance of our management team. Very experienced people, a lot of venture capital experience, execution, operations that we bring to the table and we bring to every single company that we invest in. A few of our recent exits. Here's an exit, a company that was sold to the German company Continental. Argus does cybersecurity for the connected car. BriefCam, which does monitoring of street cameras, which sold to Canon earlier this year for close to $100 million. And Uber, I mean, some of you might know the jump bikes that are here on the streets of Berlin. I was very proud to see them. We invested in that company back in 2015 and then co-led around with Menlo Ventures that then got sold to Uber about 7 months later, where our investors made a very nice return in a very short period of time. Here at NOAH today, we have three of our very exciting companies. We have Hycon, which is revolutionizing the digital print industry. We have MetaWare, which is preventing mistakes by doctors when using AI to prevent mistakes by doctors when they prescribe wrongly to customers. And Tyrannus, which is using AI and computer vision to help expedite the way you observe your crops and allows for visual crop viewing in a very efficient manner. But just to give you an example to one of the companies that we've invested in, which we're very proud of, called InsightTech, I have a video that I would like to show, and then we'll just wrap up. So if you could show the InsightTech video, that would be great.
This is what Parkinson's disease does to Kimberly Spletter. Uncontrolled movements, shaking and wobbling.
We got to the point where I was having difficulty getting dressed. I have a grandson. I couldn't snap his onesies. I was at a wedding recently and I couldn't dance with my dad. It was sad.
Now, doctors at the University of Maryland Medical Center are experimenting with a brand new treatment, something that's never been done before. It's called Mri Guided Ultrasound.
It's been known for a long time that if you make lesions in certain parts of the brain, you can eliminate some of the symptoms.
And that's exactly what this treatment does, except there's no cutting and no surgery. Kimberly underwent this treatment less than a week ago. She says she had to shave her head, but the procedure didn't hurt. The only feeling is intense heat. The results, though, were immediate. She was able to walk.
It was just absolutely the most incredible thing in the world.
And when we met Kimberly this morning, there was even more emotion because she was able to accomplish something else, running, a favorite hobby that she hasn't been able to do for years.
It's turned back the clock for me. You know, I have a new lease on life. I can do things that I want to do. It's a blessing.
So thank you everyone for your attention. We invite you to come to www.ourcrowd.com. Register to the site. It's completely free. You can see everything that we're seeing and be part of our revolution and invest in companies like yourself. This one, by the way, was invested with the Koch brothers, which is the largest private company in America, and is doing incredible things. Just as one example, we have 169 others. Please log up to our site and come visit us there. Thank you very much. Thank you, Marker, for this wonderful opportunity.